Yo. Alright, we are back. We got some back and buys today. I don't know. It's pretty exciting today. We might go skating today. It's feeling pretty good outside today, so I don't know. I want to get active. The seasonal depression, I think it's finally leaving my body. I think it's time to see the outside world. But I think it's going to be a pretty sweet day. You can't go wrong with a nice and back and buy day. And to end it off, hitting a couple tricks, man. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty strong, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been on top of my diet lately, and I've been noticing my abs are starting to leave. Man, it's a tragedy. That's okay, though. It's a temporary. I'm gonna look temporarily ugly for a couple. The bulk is bulking and the abs are disappearing, so it's gonna happen. I'm not even worried. I don't really care. And all my lifts have been increasing little by little, so the bulk is definitely working. It's doing its job, so I can't complain if I have a little bit of face fat or lose my abs a bit. And we're doing good. Let's get the show on the road, man. Nothing to say here. Okay, we are starting off with cable lat pull downs. Is it cable lat pull downs or is it just lat pull downs? I don't know. We are starting off heavy, and I honestly think that was a big mistake. I don't know where during the workout it happened, but I think I pulled like a neck muscle or something, because it feels right now like someone just shot me in the back of the neck or something. Anyway, that's enough complaining. We're almost full stack in this right now, honestly. I felt strong today, but I didn't feel fully recovered. I felt like I could have squeezed out a couple more reps. Not only squeezed out a couple more reps, but done them in a clean fashion. Unfortunately, I ended up getting that neck strain at the beginning of the workout, so it kind of messed me up the entire time. I pretty much had to push through the pain, but I honestly think that made it worse because I can't turn my head 2 degrees to the left or right. It's that bad, honestly. It's one of the worst things. It's one of the worst neck pains I've experienced to this day, honestly. But I love these, man. A lat pull down, they're just so good. They're just so good. You gotta squeeze your elbows tight, close together, man, and just pull. I like to go heavy because you can get like a really good stretch that you couldn't get otherwise with a light weight. I eventually end up switching to a lighter weight so I can get a better contraction. Soon enough, the lift is gonna get so easy that I'm gonna start full stacking. So I'm going to have to figure out ways to make it harder. I might have to add a plate on it or something. But there's so many ways you can make a lat pull down harder. So I'm not even worried about not having enough weight on there. So if worse comes to worse, I can just start using one arm. But I'm not there yet, and it's going to take a long while. So I don't even know if I want to get there. Imagine me just straight yanking this with one arm. I mean, I could probably throw someone to the moon like a football. The reason I like to go heavy, though, is because I end up doing a barbell row. And a barbell row is essentially good for getting that really good squeeze. And I find that doing a barbell row perfectly lines up with my skeletal system. You really got to find workouts that couple well with each other. And not only couple well with each other, but work well for your body. Now, we move on to a seated row so I can essentially pre-exhaust my back. I notice that I'm getting strong enough to the point where it's getting hard for my spinal erectors to really keep up. So I pre-exhaust my back, and this really is good for just hitting every single part of the back. This exercise really doesn't hit the lats. Or not the lats, I'm sorry, the traps. Depending on what angle your body is at, you can pretty much hit every single part of the back except the traps, like I said. I find that when you go with lighter weights, you can hit a more upper to mid back. And when you go heavier, you tend to hit more lats because that's where you're mostly strong at. So for these, since I'm seated, and it's a pretty safe exercise, I start off very high, pretty much as high as I can go while hitting 10 reps. And then I switch it out for a lower weight to really feel it in my upper to mid back. And then as soon as I start feeling it getting weak, I then switch to my lats. Now the last reps are very important because this is when your lats truly start to get engaged. You really want to focus on squeezing your elbows as close to your body as possible and also lean forward. Leaning forward helps with really attacking that lat right at the hip where it attaches. I, however, find it really hard to get that lat all the way down at the back because it's just really hard to squeeze. So I tend to use like deadlifts or hinge movements like this. I always, however, start with a more wide grip and I'm letting the bar touch more close to my sternum to get a more upper to traps activation. Now I'm trying to pre-exhaust my back, so the only thing left are essentially my lats. My lats aren't a necessarily lacking body part, but I do find it very hard to activate. Right now, I'm really trying to work on my traps in my neck because I'm just constantly having problems and injuries there. As you can see, I'm just like, it feels like burning electricity. That's the best way I could describe it, honestly. It was weird too because it was at the beginning of the workout and it just gradually got worse and worse and worse. Usually when I get neck pains, it's very like obvious as to how I got it and it's able to go away, but this one's very strange. But anyway, we're doing bent over rows, man, and the form is very important because if you're not focused on the form, you're just gonna do this exercise completely wrong. And I just hate wasting my time at the gym. These bent over rows, I almost like to do them like a shrug. Because your traps are like a very strong muscle and it can take a huge beating, I don't mind overworking it at times. You have to do shrugs though. You cannot skip out on this movement. I used to skip out on it because I was thinking, hey, it's going to grow on its own. And I don't want to look big and blocky, so I just skipped out on it. But it's very, very important for your neck. Not only just for your back, but just for your neck in general. For shrugs, I recommend going light because you can get a contraction that you can't get with higher weights. But that's enough about ego lifting. We're going on to the whole grail of workouts. And it's bicep curls, man. We're doing 45s for now. Honestly, I'm not even going to lie this time. I cannot go higher than this. I can, but it's going to be like sloppy reps. And I just really don't care about ego lifting anymore. I also couldn't even try to go higher because my neck somehow got involved in this movement too. So I had to be really careful. And I actually ended up having to go down to get like just a better workout. It ended up being a blessing in disguise though, because when I did go down, I ended up figuring out something that if you manage to handle the curve of the weight, you can emphasize the bicep a little bit more. The contraction is not really the issue for most people. Most people can get the contraction. It's actually the lengthening portion of the bicep that's really difficult to get. Because people are so shy of the pain, they end up forcing a lot of the weight to end up on the forearm. But that's going to conclude the video, honestly, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that easy, simple back and by workout. And yeah, just if you guys liked the video, leave a like and enjoy this pump, man.